I'd like to call this February the 23rd meeting of the Subcommittee on Property and Planning to order, and I would ask our clerk to call the roll.
Representative Hodges? Here. Leatherwood? Here. Reedy? Here. Sexton? Wright?
Here.
Chairman Moody? Here. Chairman Carter? Chairman Crawford?
Here.
Chairman Carr?
Here.
Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you. We will have just a real quick, brief organizational meeting here, since this is our first time to meet, but we do have a couple bills on the agenda today, and I'll get right to them. First of all, I'd like to introduce our clerk to you. Over here to my right is my clerk, Ms. Tricia Hagna, and over to my left here we have our attorney today, is Mr. Doug Garrett. We have our research analyst, Mr. Nathan Witt. We have our Sergeant at Arms, Mr. Thomas Woodward, out there. He's handling 2 committees right now. We probably won't need any help in here if you need to go, okay? From our clerk's office, we have Miss Holly Evans back here. And from our video, we have Miss Gina Henderson back at the back. We really appreciate all those people being here to help us get this meeting under control and do what we need to do. We have probably heard today 2 or 3 times or even more all the rules of all the committees. I'm going to dispense with the reading of those rules again unless you have a question. I don't think you will, but if you need a copy, you may call my office, you may call Chairman Crawford's office, and we will get you a copy of all these rules that we're using this year to run our committees with. Real quickly, right now, let's since this is a brand new committee, it's the first time that I have served with any of these that's on this committee this year, and we'll start to my left with Chairman Moody, if she will introduce herself and tell us where she's from, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Deborah Moody, I represent Tipton County in the beautiful part of West Tennessee on the Mississippi River, and I have the 1 county, and I invite you to come on out and join us for some good ice cream from Unilever and the Magnum bars and the Klondike bars. And then we'll go to Charms and you can get blow pops. And we have many, many other things, but those are the food items that we can offer you. But thank you, and I'm looking forward to serving with you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Chairman, it sounded like that was a sweet district. I've just got a rural district. It's the Houston, Humphreys, and western part of Montgomery County to include. I like to say Fort Campbell's got the post office, but I get the voters at Fort Campbell. And anyway, this is me being a new member on this committee. I look forward to having the local discussions. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Chairman.
Good afternoon. I'm Chairman John Crawford. I represent the 1st District, which is in the very northeast tip of the state of Tennessee. I represent the city of Bristol, the city of Kingsport, city of Bluff City, and Sullivan County. And if, for those that are familiar, it's the home of the fastest half mile in the racing district, Bristol Motor Speedway. So,
thank you. Chairman Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dave Wright, District 19, which is the rural east side of Knox County. In response to that fastest half mile, I represent all the cows and half the horses in Knox County. The other half the horses are wealthy and they live in Farragut. It's an honor for me to be a member of the legislature, but having served on Knox County Commission for 11 years, where the primary issue is land use, in other words, zoning, to be on this committee is a very important aspect of me being here in the state legislature. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Go ahead, Jason.
I'm Jason Hodges. I represent District 67, which is in Clarksville. Look forward to being on the committee.
Thank you.
Tom Leatherwood, represent District 99 in northeast Shelby County and just south of the beautiful Tipton County district. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate all that. Of course, I'm Dale Carr. I represent District 12, which is Sevier County. Has all of Dollywood and Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and Sevierville in it. And Miss Dolly did not want the statue, so we pulled that off of the state full committee today. She thought that we could spend our money better, and she's just a very precious woman, and we really like her in Sevier County. If there's nothing else, we will proceed with our meeting. We have our first item up today. It's House Bill 128 by Chairman Howell. Chairman Howell, you are recognized. Motion and second, you recognize Chairman Howe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to, first of all, tell you how much I appreciate the people from the HOA associations in Tennessee working with me on this bill. It is an HOA bill, and I appreciate Martha Gentry and also Mandy Young. We've worked very closely on this. In fact, they were in my office today. We had some discussions about some things. But, Mr. Chairman, I do have an amendment. If you want to put that first on, then I explain the bill as amended if you'd like, or I can.
Thank you, thank you, Chairman. First of all, we were notified of this amendment, and it makes some changes that they went together, and all three parties were talking about. We were notified of the amendment. It did not get to our office on time. So therefore, even though we knew about it, it was not there. So I'm going to call this an untimely amendment and ask if the committee would consider recognizing and accepting this untimely amendment. You recognize, Representative Reedy.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we take into consideration of an untimely amendment.
Been motioned and seconded. We're taking an untimely amendment. As we said, we knew it was coming. All three parties worked on this. All those in favor of taking the untimely amendment, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? We are on the amendment now, Representative Howell. We have taken up the untimely amendment. If you'll explain the amendment to us.
The amendment is.
Motion on the amendment. I got a motion on second. I got a motion and second. You recognize.
The amendment is number 3877?
That's what I have.
Chairman?
You're correct.
Okay. This amendment actually makes the bill, and it changes some language in the clause that actually makes the bill. But let me just give you a little background, if I could, first, Mr. Chairman. The bill came to my attention because of a situation with a constituent in my district, and it originated with them, and he owns some property in an HOA subdivision. He does not live there. He owns the property there, and he owns, in fact, more than one piece of property in that subdivision. He is a developer by trade, but he owns a property there. It is a 3.5 roughly acre lake surrounded by trees. There are no houses on that property. And but it is very near a subdivision. There is a road that comes down to the lake, and there are houses on the other side. And it is owned privately. It is not HOA common area. I think you know what common area is. That's area that's owned by the HOA, and anybody in the subdivision can use it. This is not, it's privately owned. It's not common area. The problem arose, and it's been getting worse and worse, he tells me, over the years. The USDA agent in the region came out there and looked at the lake a while back, several months ago, confirmed that it is overpopulated with Canadian geese. If you know anything about Canadian geese, you know that you don't want them on your property. They confirmed that the geese are indeed a health and safety issue, especially in a subdivision where there are houses around with small children. And the geese carry several diseases, including E. coli, listeria, salmonella, as well as parasites, viruses, and bacteria, which is spread from their droppings. And trust me when I tell you, they do a lot of that. And there are times when the agent was there, and also I might add a TWRA agent was out there also, state agency, looking at it, and he also gave the same opinion. But my constituent tells me that there are so many geese. At one time he counted 60 on a 3-acre pond that they just, you can't walk, and for concerns about health and safety. And so people from the subdivision keep going down there thinking that they have the right to use it. He has told them numerous times, communicated clearly, don't come on this property. You're trespassing, and there are health and safety hazards here. There have been at least one time when he called the authorities, but they it's not posted. So there was nothing that they could do. And so he put up a sign that said private property, a couple of them, in fact, and private property not for public use. I think that's what the sign said. And the HOA informed him that that was a violation of their restrictions and he had to remove it. So he did. So he came to me for help, saying, can you help me protect myself from liability and lawsuits and the health of small children or whoever else might go down there and fall in the lake and drown, and I'm going to get sued. So that's the basis of this bill. And even though it would help my constituent, I can see where possibly it might help others statewide who might have a similar situation. It may not be geese, it may be some kind of pollution area in a pond, and he's one, or in some piece of land, and they're wanting to protect themselves and post it. So the bill is narrowly written. We wrote it very, very narrowly with the intent of not doing harm to an HOA's ability to enter into covenants with their members of the HOA. But I believe there are certain situations, and I believe there's case law that may define this, that there are times when public health and safety take precedent over covenants. And on that basis, Mr. Chairman, I would ask for a positive vote.
Do I hear any questions to the sponsor of the amendment? To be fair, Mr. Chairman, we did have one that was wanting to speak. Did y'all get everything worked out? Do you need to still speak? Okay, she says no, so I appreciate that. I still want to give you the opportunity. Any questions on the amendment? Anyone? Question has been called for on the amendment. All those in favor of Amendment 3877 going on to full bill, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. We are back on the bill as amended. The amendment makes the bill. Any further questions to the sponsor? Seeing none, any objection to the question? Seeing none, all those in favor of the House Bill 128 going on to full committee say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Bill goes on to full committee. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman and committee.
Thank you. We have one more bill now. We'll give the lady just a minute there to sanitize that microphone there. Thank you. House Bill 407 by Chairman Helton. Chairman Helton, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr.
Been motion
Chairman and
properly
members.
seconded. You're recognized.
Thank you. This legislation is a cleanup bill regarding the pre-sale of lots, and this bill is supported by the Tennessee Home Builders, and it seeks to align the statute with current industry practice. This legislation will allow property owners to negotiate with and sell lots to buyers. However, the close of the sale or the transfer of the property will not occur until the final plat has been approved and recorded.
Thank you. I will say one thing, that this is the bill in this particular 112th session. Last year, in the 111th General Assembly, we had an amendment, but the bill is exactly like the amendment that we took there. And so we're in the proper form right now. Are there any questions to the sponsor on the bill? Question's been called for. All those in favor of House Bill 407 moving on to full committee say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. Bill moves on to full committee. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman
Helton.
and members.
Any other questions to come before the committee? Any comments, questions, concerns? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn. We are adjourned. Thank you.